Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum everyone. In this section, I'm going to explain on principles of Islamic consumption. So now, principles of consumption. Okay, in Islam we have few principles. Okay, we have principle of halal, principle of moderation, principle of cleanliness, principle of righteousness, and principle of morality. Now let's go one by one. Okay, now let's look on the first principle of consumption, which is principle of halal. What is principle of halal? Muslim has been enjoined upon by Islam to eat only that food which is halal, meaning which is lawful and permitted, and not to take that which is haram or unlawful and forbidden. This is very clear in Al-Quran chapter 5 verse 3, Al-Quran chapter 5 verse 88, and Al-Quran chapter 16 verse 114. Let's look on Al-Quran chapter 5, Surah Al-Ma'idah verse 3. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم حرمت عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير وما أهل لغير الله به والمنخنقة والموقوذة والمتردية والنطيحة وما أكل السبع إلا ما ذكيتم وما ذبح على النصب وأن تستقسموا بالأزلام ذلكم فسق. The meaning is, forbidden to you for food are bad meat, blood, the flesh of swine, and that on which hath been invoked the name of other than Allah, that which hath been killed by strangling, or by a violent blow, or by a headlong fall, or by being gored to death, that which hath been partly eaten by a wild animal, unless ye are able to slaughter it, which is in due form, that which is sacrificed on stone or altars. Forbidden also is the division of meat by rifling with arrows, that is impiety. So meaning in Islam, everything has been explained clearly, what is halal and what is haram. So we are required to spend our earnings on halal expenses and refrain from haram things such as wine, narcotics, prostitutes, gambling, and luxury things. Okay, second one, principle of moderation. Okay, one should consume with moderation and avoid excessiveness, because excess of intake is harmful to health. Because we know that human has unlimited wants. Because of that, Islam has guides us with certain guidelines in order to make sure we protect ourselves from any distractions. And this can be seen in chapter 7 verse 31, Surah Al-A'raf. Yeah? Let me recite the verse. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا بني آدم خذوا زينتكم عند كل مسجد وكلوا واشربوا ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين. The meaning is, O children of Adam, wear your beautiful apparel at every time and place of prayer. Eat and drink, but waste not by excess, for Allah loveth not the wasters. So because of that, one must not be miser in spending, no extravagant. And this also can be seen in chapter 25 verse 67. Of course, Islam, Allah does not stop us to indulge in whatever we want, but we have to make sure that we don't be miser in spending, and we have to suit the things that we need for ourselves with a moderate way of thinking. Okay, next, principle of cleanliness. Of all that is permissible, that could be consumed, which is clean and wholesome, which is healthy. So in Islam, we also being asked not only to choose halal food, halal earnings, be moderate, but also we have to make sure that the goods that we consume must be clean. Okay, and this can be seen in Al-Quran chapter 2 verse 172, Al-Quran chapter 5 verse 5, Al-Quran chapter 23 verse 51, and Al-Quran chapter 16 verse 114. For example, in chapter 16, Surah An-Nahl, verse 114, let me recite. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم فكلوا مما رزقكم الله حلالا طيبا واشكروا نعمة الله إن كنتم إياه تعبدون. The meaning is, so eat of the sustenance which Allah has provided for you, lawful and good, and be grateful for the favors of Allah, if it is He whom you serve. So tayyib, yeah, halalan tayyiba, not only halal but also tayyib. What is tayyib? It means anything one finds wholesome, healthy, pure, and conducive to health. Yeah, so you can see that Islam really protects us, our life, to that extent. Yeah, to make sure that we are healthy. Why we need to be healthy? Because when we are healthy, we're able to submit, we're able to do ibadah towards Allah, yeah, in the best way, in a proper way. Yeah, so that's why we have to choose whatever things that we eat. Yeah, that's in terms of food, and also same in terms of clothing, in terms of properties. Okay, make sure that it's not only Sharia compliant, but also it does not bring something which is able to lead to any distractions. Yeah, okay. Fourth one, principle of righteousness. Okay, it means consume. We need to consume things through lawful earning and not having been prohibited by law, and this has been explained in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 174 and 168. Okay, let me recite the verse from Surah Al-Baqarah 168. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس كلوا مما في الأرض حلالا طيبا ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. Okay, if you focus on the phrase ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان, and that means we have to be righteousness. Okay, we have to be righteous, yeah, in doing our things. The meaning is, oh you people, eat of what is on earth, lawful and good. Okay, same like verse 114 Surah An-Nahl just now. Okay, that Allah asks us to not only take halal food but also tayyib. Yeah, and please do not follow. Yeah, Allah reminds us, do not follow the footsteps of the evil one. Yeah, so meaning we have to make sure that whatever things that we do is always in line with Sharia. Okay, the last one, principle of morality, a principle of akhlaq. Yeah, it means condition of morality in promoting spiritual values through consumption. Yeah, we need to make sure that we embed akhlaq in our consumption. Yeah, for example, recite Bismillah yeah, in the name of Allah, before eating, and Alhamdulillah, thanks to God, yeah, after eating, to show our gratitude towards Allah as our creator. Thus, one could feel the divine presence when satisfying his physical desires. Actually, it is not only limited to that, yeah, in terms of akhlaq, yeah. For example, in terms of muamalah, we as a Muslim consumer also are required to choose Islamic banking in doing our financial transactions, yeah, in doing our investments, in doing our savings, yeah. Why? Because Islamic banks are free from riba, free from gharar, uncertainties, free from maisir or gambling, and free from any prohibited elements. So because of that, as Muslim consumer, we need to choose things which is halal, yeah, and choosing the thing which is halal also is part of morality or akhlaq, yeah? And we need to always make sure that we abstain ourselves from doing bad things, because by doing bad things we also indirectly fall into Satan's plan, like what Allah said in Surah Al-Ma'idah, verse 91. Ya, a'udzubillahi minasyaitonir rajim. Innama yuridu syaitanu an yuqi'a bainakumul adawata wal baghdha'a fil khamri wal maisi wa yasuddakum an dzikrillahi wa 'anis salah. Fahal antum muntahun? The meaning is, Satan's plan is but to excite enmity and hatred that between you with intoxicants and gambling, and hinder you from the remembrance of Allah and from prayer. Will ye not then abstain? So because of that, we need to always make sure that we embed ourselves with good akhlaq, yeah, and abstain ourselves from bad deeds, yeah. Okay, that's all for principles of consumption.